Yesterday, I went live here on the channel building some animals I saw at the zoo over the weekend. And if you do end up enjoying this video, which is a bunch of highlights with some high quality images and closer looks at what we build throughout the stream, alongside some clips from the actual visit to the zoo, be sure to check out the full stream that I'll leave linked at the end of the video. In true Master Moldy fashion, I have been completely muted for the whole intro. There are a few really cool animals, and I'm not sure if you've heard of the first one. It was a Coatimundi, which I thought sounded so much like Ki-Adi-Mundi. I didn't really get a close-up look of the Coatimundi, but it just sounds too cool not to build on this stream. But I think we'll start off with a basic one. We saw a snake. I think that's too easy. We'll probably go first with a guinea pig. I will try and get an image of this guinea pig up on the streams just so you can see how evil this looks. This is the guinea pig that is being mentioned. Well, that's a very, very big image. This is the guinea pig that is in question here. Let me try and size this down so you can see me as well as the guinea pig. But it was a pure white guinea pig with the reddest Sith eyes you could imagine. We've done the guinea pig. I almost forgot the name of it then. So if you can take a look side by side with the evil Sith guinea pig. And as you can see, the guinea pig did turn out really, really cool. I mean, it's a quite simple build, and it is 2 bricks wide. A lot of these follow the similar creatures you'll see in Lego created boxes, but again, it was just building them on a stream with as many of you that were watching. I think there were like 30 of you that chimed in throughout the 2.5 hours. So thank you to everyone that showed up, and I hope to see a few more of you next Monday. I really like how this looks like a guinea pig, and perhaps it might be confused a bit with a sheep, but I really like the Sith eyes that were just a must for this build. I definitely think the next one is a little bit better, but it's by no means the worst animal build of the video. What animal should I build next? Goats. Yes, there was goats. Actually, you know what? We might do goats next because there is a really funny image. The goat had its head stuck through, and there was another one. You can see it just in the background. If I can zoom in, you can see there is a second goat in the background there, and that was the one that got its head jammed through. And in pulling it out, it opened the gate, and then when we were walking past later, both goats just walked straight past us as if nothing was happening. They didn't seem fussed or anything. It was definitely a sight. Yeah, the goats broke out twice whilst we were there. But as we've built a white guinea pig, I need to write the name on it or something. We are building the goat that's just up here, level with my eyes over there. And it is a bit of a brown, tan, and white goat. We're going to be using the front goat as, I guess, the goat bit. Well, we know roughly what a goat looks like, but we are going to be building it tan, brown, make it maybe a little bit muddy. And then it does have 2 horns as well, slightly covered by the wood at the top. But again, they're the typical sort of ram horns that you can picture when picturing a stereotypical goat. I know for reindeers that the male's horns shed, they're meant to shed sort of November, December, because there was a male reindeer there that still had absolutely massive horns on his head. I think I've probably got an image I'll be able to show you later on in the stream. But the female reindeers, the reindeers, is that the technical word? Keep their horns a bit later because of that's usually when they have younger children, and they keep them into the new year rather than shedding them at Christmas. So technically, all of the reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh shouldn't have horns. Well, I guess no, technically the female ones still would, but I don't really know if the reindeers are gendered. So maybe half of them should have horns, half of them don't, but that might, lopside the sleigh a little bit. I've called them horns for this whole patch, haven't I? They're technically antlers, they're not horns. As we built the guinea pig this big, I won't be building the goat to scale because the goat would be about this big, and we're already about a quarter through the stream. The goats tend to be quite a bit fluffier. I don't know, guinea pigs are pretty fluffy, but they tend to look like they've got a bit more fur on them. And you can see this one's got a very, you know, little head of hair. I'm going to try and get that look with a few different cheese slopes and 1x2s. If you've seen the Fortnite llama, or if you've seen the pinata that Lego come out with, then you'll know they look nothing like this. This is my go, and potentially where the video peaks. But as you can see, you can get a close-up of all the different slopes that we've used. 1x2s, 2x2s, 1x4s, and if I had others in similar colors, you'd also see them here. For the front, the little scruffy chin, we've got some of the 1x1 cheese slopes, and again, the eyes are using that translucent element at an angle. No idea what it's called. Really happy with how the ears stick out. And another simple build, but still very, very effective. Hello there, never too old for Lego. Now that is a awesome username, by the way. Jackalope. What is a jackalope? I cannot say. It looks like a rabbit reindeer. Oh, well, we can build a rabbit and we can build a reindeer. Perhaps I can mix and match a few of these. For anyone wondering what a jackalope looks like, it is up on screen. I don't know if you can see it. It's just up there. There is a jackalope, a rabbit with antlers, I think. For anyone that has just joined in, because I've just seen it pop up a few, we've done a guinea pig. There's the rabbit. We've done a goat. We're moving on to a rabbit, and then we're moving on to a reindeer. Actually, I already have a reindeer somewhere. Maybe I can steal the horns for that and add that to the rabbit. Another thing, I know I said I'd do a future video on it, but look how clean this looks with all my 2x4s and 2x6 bricks. Again, most of these are used in mocks elsewhere, but the fact that they can stand up, I actually 3D printed, or I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but I actually 3D printed in red some custom base plates that fit in this straw. It's so much easier than trying to tub them up. A few other creatures that had quite funny names that I couldn't remember. I think the skunk that we saw, a bit harder to build than a rabbit, was called Cody, which was quite nice as a Clone Wars fan. And there was also a raccoon that was named Rocket, which I thought we had a video on. There were 2 raccoons, and I was convinced that was Rocket until one of the zookeepers walked past not long after I said it, probably overheard, and told us it was actually the other raccoon, not Rocket. So we didn't get to see Rocket Raccoon, but there was a raccoon there named Rocket. Rabbits tend to have quite a fluffy tail, and I don't really know how we can go about doing that in Lego. I mean, probably slopes. Everything seems to be fixed with a few slopes, but even slopes can't fix that face. I'm going to have nightmares about this tonight. But I am quite happy with this build, mainly the back and how we've used the bonnets and the 1x3 slopes. Again, black doesn't show up very well on camera, but we've got the dark bluish grey bunny tail. I did run out of those black slopes, so I had to use some dark bluish grey for the front. But I think this matches the picture very, very well of the very lazy bunny that we saw at the zoo. Here's the reindeers that we took. You can see the Mao, which is the one standing on the right hand side, or on the left as they are standing closer. The one right this side of the image does have massive antlers, and they are meant to be falling off soon, but this year, end of last year, it actually held on to them through the end of January. It's interesting how Lego has 3 types of brown colors: brown, reddish brown, and dark brown. Yeah, brown. So brown, I believe, is the brittle brown. I don't think I've had any problems with reddish brown. I've had problems with dark red, but brown was known as the brittle brown throughout like the early 2000s, because stuff like the old Jabba Salbarge you don't want to pick up used or even new, because there's a chance of the colors they mixed, any of the browns, the reddish browns, didn't see a problem with the red, so it's mostly the browns would crack. And then you also have dark brown. The difference between brown and dark brown might come across better on camera. You can see it's quite close, but when you're looking in a drawer that's not very well lit, it's easy to make the mistake. The hardest ones, you've got a few different shades of blue, a few different shades of green that are a bit awkward to try and look through, but the hardest ones, sand green, and there's an olive green, something like that, and I just cannot tell them apart. So here we go. We've got some dark brown slope pieces, 1x2 slopes I'm going to use as the ears. And it is quite a simple build. These animals are quite simple, but the whole point of this week was just to build something, have great relax. I think for antlers, the easiest thing to do would be not to spend the next 10 minutes raiding every brown part that I own, but they did turn out really, really nice. And again, though, the reindeer is really simple. I'm quite happy with how it turned out, but as requested, here is the cursed jackalope, and for fun, I decided to put the antlers on the two other creatures as well. So here you'll see the goat with antlers, and perhaps my favorite, the guinea pigalope. So let me know in the comments which of these three is your favorite. And thank you so much for watching. May the bricks be with you always.